What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Stocks by the Numbers. And today I'm doing a quick update here. Let's review. Let's see how I do, and let's look at Tesla. Obviously, I'm not necessarily cherry picking, but also at the same time, I knew that I was probably going to be correct on this one. And more importantly, I know Elon Musk has been in the news since Twitter, since Tesla's been pulling back. People saying he's been selling his stock, and let's just see how we did here. So first of all, obviously, I said Tesla was overinflated. If you want to go back and watch the video, it was published on August 17th, and perhaps I'll put a link to the video in the description if you want to go back and double check and see what I said. But it was also pre-split, which was 3-1, and I'm looking at the video now, and the company on that day was roughly $912 a share, which divided by 3 would be about $304 a share. And as we can see here today, the stock closed at $137.80, down 8% on the day, up a little over 1% right now after hours. And basically, not to pat myself on the back, but, absolutely nailed this call. I'm going back, I'm looking at the chart here. I did mention a double gap that the stock technically should be pulling back and selling off to get to that gap fill. If we look at the long-term chart here, going back to 2020, about mid-2020, and at the time, I believe it was like $246 a share, right? So if we divide that by 3, because 3-for-1 split, now we're looking at what, like $82 a share, right? And it's funny because if we come over here, first of all, this is from when I made the video, right? You see on the bottom left, it says Wednesday, August 17th, 2020, right? Look at the stock, 304, 305 and change, right? It immediately started to pull back after I made the video, rebounded back up to that 300 level, and then obviously has been completely selling off here, hitting new 52-week lows today of 137.66. So, if you did have the potential to short some shares, or if you did step in and you bought, long-term puts, 6, 8, 12 months out, obviously you're making a killing now. And, I'm not necessarily going to take credit for it, but, I will put a little feather in my cap because, I would hope that the video helped you out a little bit and, helped you make a better decision moving forward. So if we pull up a long-term chart here, actually, let's go max chart. Okay, I redrew that circle, okay? If you go back to the video, when I initially pulled up the chart, because they had the split, this circle with this gap fill was like up here, right? Because it didn't adjust. But if we come down, you can see the gap up from this level, and then it gapped up again back to that level. And it's funny, right? Because if we come here, you can see at the top of the screen, the red numbers. See the H? It's the O, the H, the L. That stands for the open, the high, the low, the close. And you can see the high, $81.87, right? Around $82 a share. Where was the gap fill on the original video? From $912, I said it was supposed to pull back and fill the gap to $246. If we divide 246 by 3 for the 3-to-1 split, we get $82. What was the high on this gap? 81.87. I'm sure everyone understood how I just got there. And now this is our new gap fill, right? And as we said, $82 a share, and we have been in free fall from 300 and change. Now we're down to 137 and change. So yes, the stock technically has to pull back. That's like another 40% maybe. And, it technically does have to fill that gap into the 80s right over here. And chances are it most likely will happen. However, excuse me, I will say that, if we do draw out some trend lines here, we're in a deep sell-off here. And a lot of people could try to say that, technically it is kind of a descending wedge, but also at the same time, you have people selling for political reasons. You have people selling, just because they hate Elon Musk. You have people selling their Tesla because he bought Twitter and they just don't like him anymore. And yeah, you know, I mean, I'm sure there are multiple reasons as to why this stock has been selling off and pulling back, but I still go back to what I said, the mere fact that it was severely overvalued, and you know, it was time to get out. It was time to take profits. You know, obviously, if you got in at IPO price, you know, a significantly lower cost basis, then I can understand if you didn't want to liquidate. But, you know, if you stepped in like around here and you caught like a big run up and now it's starting to pull back, like, you know, it wasn't the worst time to sell your shares here around the time I made the video and slightly after. Because, again, Tesla ran to the moon. You know, we were talking about a company, I think, that was almost trading 20 times total revenue with a PE north of 100. Now we're sitting here, we have a nice PE of about 42.5, right? So it could continue to drop down and go lower, but also, again, like I said, pricing and timing, right? So now, if you did want to purchase shares right now, you have an opportunity to buy at 42 times earnings when it was trading 100 times earnings, right? So, you know, I'm sure there are people out there who might have seen my video, laughed, thinking, you know, I have no idea what I'm talking about, and Tesla's a great company, and they might have stepped in at that level. And now they are down massive. But it just makes me laugh because, you know, this just shows you, in my opinion, how political the market is, right? Because everyone loved Elon Musk and Tesla, and everyone was saying you have to buy Tesla, it's just going to keep going up. And now all of a sudden, you know, look, Tesla 52-week low. Look, Tesla's dropping share price takes valuation below ExxonMobil's. Yeah, well, of course. This company was heavily overinflated. It has since been selling off, and in the same time frame, you know, a barrel of oil went from $35, $40 to north of $100 a share. So of course, ExxonMobil is going to, you know, start to see a rise in their stock value. I mean, let's be serious. That, in my opinion, is just a horrible comparison right there. You know, here's an article talking about Elon Musk saying why shares are tanking. You know, Tesla stock keeps falling. Look, Tesla stock gets cautious comments from Wall Street, right? Since when? I thought everyone was bullish on it. I thought everyone was bullish on it. Anytime someone would say Tesla stock was overvalued, they would get laughed at, right? Now all of a sudden they're like, oh no, it's got to come back down to earth, right? Oh, here's some cautious comments from Wall Street. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. Elon Musk did his own poll. If you guys want to look that up, I thought it was an absolutely hilarious troll job by Elon Musk. He's definitely a legend. And, you know, look at this. Oh, it was a visionary jerk. Look, bad boss at SpaceX. All of a sudden, he's a trash boss, right? And it just makes me laugh at what I'm seeing here. Look, oh, lowest level in years. This guy's talking about an annualized return, but look, Tesla stock dives as Musk admits this, right? Just a little clever wording to try to, you know, get some clickbait, get you to click on the article. Right? And now everyone's focused on Twitter, and it's funny because, again, I did want this stock to pull back, and it was overvalued, and it should come back down to earth, and now it's almost there, right? So that's why I'm saying, or that's why I wanted to make the video, because it's almost like they're getting personal, they're getting political with Musk because of what he did with Twitter. Now all of a sudden everyone's jumping off of Tesla, but also at the same time, not only are we, again, potentially setting up a little technical pattern, but even if it breaks this and doesn't bounce out of this wedge and continues to pull back, as I said, it's going to hit this low 80 mark. It's going to fill this gap. And then, in my opinion, you go all in. Because the company is still rolling on all cylinders and killing it. Look, we go back quarterly again. This is like the first quarter since inception that like it had a pullback and hit some sort of ceiling. Right? 18.75 billion revenue in the quarter. Then they pulled back to sub 17 billion. That's kind of around the time it started to pull back and sell off. People were shocked. They thought it was just going to keep going. And then what happens the next quarter? Boom, 21.5 billion. Right? So they had a little bit of a hiccup, and now they're completely rebounding. And if we check the numbers here, I just want to show you guys, right? 431.79 billion, and we come down here divided by 53.82 billion. Look at that. Look at that. Now the stock that was astronomically overvalued, that was trading almost 20 times revenue with a PE north of 100, is now sitting here with a PE of sub 50 and is now only trading 8 times total revenue. Is it going to bounce from this level? I have absolutely no idea. You know, I showed you guys the trend lines. We could potentially have a pattern setting up and see a short-term bounce. However, again, I will say, if this does pull back, you know, that 40% value and drops down to that $80 a share mark, I mean, then this figure is going to be close to like 4.5 times total revenue, right? And we're going to see a Tesla with a market cap of like 200 billion and change when they brought in 54 billion in revenue last year, and the last couple of quarters have still been doing pretty well. So, you know, as of right now, you know I did draw the trend lines. We could potentially see a little reversal here, but also at the same time, I would be patient in my opinion. I would wait for it to come back and fill this gap that everyone said I was crazy, even though it's almost there. So in my opinion, I would wait for it to fill that gap. Now you're buying the company at a realistic valuation. And then, of course, because it's Elon Musk, watch, you're going to see. It's going to start to pull back to this level. Then all of a sudden, it's going to get upgraded. JP Morgan Chase is going to raise its price target. Everybody wants a Tesla. Elon Musk is, businessman of the year. Watch. You watch. You mark this video and come back to this video. Because I'm telling you, I've seen stuff like this happen before. And, again, in my opinion, fighting around the support level, might bounce around for a little bit, but I do think it's going to pull back here, potentially see the gap fill, and then in my opinion, I would be all over the son of a bitch. But I'm going to leave it there. So once again, this is stocks by the numbers. Actually, I wanted to switch over to stock charts, but there's really not much going on. You can see, look at the RSI. It's sub 25 right now. MACD pulling back drastically. We switch over to weekly. Same thing. Look at the RSI down at 30 and change, random add. And, of course, this company has been significantly pulling back. Recently broke the 200-day moving average here and is now sliding. I mean, you know, look at these metrics here. So, you know, again, this is a company that if you were looking to invest into Tesla long term, this, in my opinion, is exactly what you wanted from the time I made the video, from the time it hit the highs, okay? Now, I'm going to leave it there. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it down in the comment section. I'm usually very quick to reply. Just like everyone on YouTube says, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Helps out the algorithm, helps me get more eyes on the channel. If you like the videos, push the subscribe button. It means a lot to me, seeing my community grow. And more importantly, moving forward, I wish everyone success. I hope everyone makes a few dollars. And I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one.